Sayonara! Sayonara is Japanese!
Pang, a panda bear, plays with his best friend Jilong, a juvenile dragon, in a forest in Asia. Pang claims that Jilong is growing up so fast that she'll soon be able to make it rain, freeze things with her breath, and fly like her father. Jilong asks him to accompany her when she can travel the world, but Pang argues that pandas aren't meant to go anywhere. Pang states that pandas are intended to sit on their bottoms all day, eating bamboo. Jilong claims he doesn't have to do what he was meant to and do what his heart wants. Later, Pang suggests they go to his house for lunch with his parents, but Jilong claims she has a better idea. Jilong plans on catapulting themselves into the air so she can learn to fly. Pang worries that she doesn't know how to fly yet, but Jilong argues that it is just a state of mind. When they thought they were flying in the air, they quickly fell into the water when Jilong's father, Kang, caught them. Kang explains that he has to leave and asks her to stay with Pang and his parents while he is gone. Pang tries to comfort Jilong and suggests they play in the caves to take her mind off things. While playing blind man's bluff, Impho, an overweight Nile crocodile, and Kabora, a gelada baboon, appear out of nowhere. They quickly run into the cave to hide, but later discover they are cornered. Impho puts Jilong in a sack while Kabora kicks Pang off the cliff. Pang finds another way out and yells for help, but when his parents can't hear him, he decides to rescue Jilong himself. Pang tries to wrestle with the crocodile, but is easily brushed aside. He managed to grab their bag, where he found a map of Africa inside it. Worried they are getting away, Pang asks Xing Xing, an orangutan merchant, for help. Xing Xing refuses, claiming that he isn't headed for Africa. Pang doesn't give up and decides to stow away on the boat. When Xing Xing discovers Pang, he demands that he follow everything he orders. A big storm hit that night, forcing them to abandon the ship. When fleeing, Xing Xing got his foot caught under a heavy log. Xing Xing asks him to save himself, but Pang refuses to leave him behind. Pang helps him escape on a lifeboat before the ship goes under. They later arrive in Africa, and Xing Xing gives him a gold medallion to thank him for saving his life on the ship. Pang went to check the island when a group of jackals suddenly chased him. Jojo, a Talapoin, tells Pang to run, but when he trips, Jojo tricks the jackals into playing fetch while they hide in some bushes. Going through his things, Jojo finds the map and discovers Pang is headed for Lion Rock, where the kidnappers took Jilong. Jojo offers to take him there in exchange for the gold medallion. Meanwhile, in Africa, the animals pay respect to Aid, the lion prince, turning 13 years old. When he notices his uncle whispering with the others, he suspects they must be throwing a surprise birthday party. But he explains that the pride is worried the hyenas have returned to the forest. He states that hyenas are their sworn enemies and suggests driving them out. He later tells him that his birthday present will arrive soon and describes it as the rarest creature from the other side of the world. Elsewhere, Jojo leads Pang back to their base. Still, when he gets suspicious, Abu, the greater kudu, blocks the exit and Pang meets their boss, Darius, the dancing ostrich. Darius declares that he will start working as a dancing panda for him. Pang worries that he doesn't know how to dance, but Darius claims that if he taught a monkey how to strum and a kudu how to sing, he could teach a panda how to dance. At night, Jojo takes Pang to a room and handcuffs him to the wall. He comforts him and explains that they aren't always chained up. During the day, they can go anywhere as long as Abu accompanies them. Once Abu falls asleep, he escapes outside, to which Jojo begs Pang to free him, promising to help him reach Lion Rock. Although hesitant, Pang decides to break him out of his chains, and Jojo feels grateful that he returns the golden medallion he took from Pang. After checking the map, Jojo claims they must cross the desert to reach Lion Rock. Unsure where to go, they ask a camel to take them. Jojo tries to make a hard bargain, but eventually gives in to the camel's demands. They spend the cold night in the desert, to which Jojo opens up and claims that ever since meeting Pang, he has become a changed monkey. The next day, they ran into a family of meerkats, but when they thought they had lost them, they turned rogue and chased them on hippopotamuses. Once they catch up to them, the leader asks them if they have water to spare. Although Jojo turns them down, Pang decides to share what they have, burning through every bottle they have left. Meanwhile, Kabora and Empho finally arrive at Lion Rock with Jialong and present her to the prince. The prince keeps mentioning how he wants a hamster, but his uncle claims the dragon will bring him great power instead. His uncle demands Jialong freeze a chicken to demonstrate her power, but she refuses, worried that it's a living being. When he threatens her, she decides to freeze the tree behind her, which impresses everyone. After their camel got scared off, Pang and Jojo were forced to trek the desert on foot. Jojo grows tired, but Pang refuses to leave him behind and decides to carry him. When Pang collapses, Jojo pushes him up the hill when they finally arrive at the oasis. When Pang woke up, he was greeted with an abundance of fruits gathered by Jojo. Suddenly, a hippopotamus emerges from underwater, requiring help. Naive Pang walks inside the hippopotamus's mouth without fear and pulls out a frog, but Jojo runs away, scared of the hippopotamus. Searching for where Jojo, Pang runs into Abu and Darius. He tries to run away, but you don't get to outrun an ostrich, the fastest animal on 2 legs. Darius catches up and trips him, and he takes them back home, where he has big plans for Pang. They are suddenly stopped when they find a lone hyena up the hill. Abu claims they can deal with one hyena, but Darius argues that hyenas hunt in packs and never wander alone. Scared for their lives, Darius and Abu abandon Pang and Jojo to fend for themselves. Nyala, the spotted hyena, slowly approaches them and goes through their bag. When she finds a map inside it, Pang explains that he is headed for Lion Rock to save a friend. Hearing about Lion Rock, Nyala suddenly gets broken-hearted, claiming that it's where she used to live before the lions chased them away. She claims it's her fault for wandering alone in the plains and getting separated from her family. Jojo is thrilled that no hungry hyenas are waiting to eat them, but Pang invites her to join them instead. That night, Pang met a giraffe for the first time and slept under a tree. Little did they know that 2 African rock pythons lived on that tree and set their sights on them. The pythons quickly rolled around them while they slept and squeezed them tightly with their bodies. When they thought they were goners, Nyala showed up, pulled the snakes to the other side of the tree, and turned them into balloon animals. Meanwhile, Aid wants to play with Jialong, but she tricks him into freeing her. She stopped at the cliff when she got scared into flying, worried she'd fall. Her captors catch up to her and put her back in her cage. Ade sneaks past the guards and talks to Jialong again, feeling terrible for putting her in a cage. He wonders if she's homesick, so Jialong draws a picture of Pang, her best friend. Ade claims he once had a best friend, but they had to play secretly because she was a hyena. One time they played in the forest when Ade's parents came looking for him. The following day, his parents were found at the bottom of the waterfall, and his uncle claimed that the hyenas had done it, so they drove them away from the forest. The next day, Pang, Jojo, and Nyala continue their adventure and finally reach the forest, where she is reunited with her family. The hyenas hosted a big party to welcome Nyala back and invited Pang and Jojo as their guests. When Pang explains that they need to find his friend at Lion Rock, Imai, Nyala's mother, worries that they can't help, concerned that there's already too much bad blood between them and the lions. Imai explains that Nyala befriended the lion prince back then, and when they were playing in the forest, Ade's parents came looking for him. Ade's mother slipped and fell into the water, and Ade's father jumped after her. Imai claims that she witnessed Ade's parents were helplessly swept down the current. She also states that he saw Ade's uncle witness it. Although it was an accident, they blamed it on the hyenas and chased them away from their homes. Pang feels terrible imposing on them any longer and claims that he and Jojo will find and save Jilong alone. Once everyone was asleep, Pang and Jojo sneak into Lion Rock. Kabora and Impho were patrolling the area when they overheard Jojo make a commotion. Scared for his life, Jojo abandons Pang and is captured and brought before Ade's uncle. Pang explains how he came to get his friend home, but Ade's uncle refuses, claiming they still need Jilong to freeze the forest and the hyenas hiding in it. When she refuses, Ade's uncle threatens to kill Pang. Jojo shows up when the lions leave and frees Pang after knocking out the crocodile guard, to which Pang awards him the golden medallion for his loyalty. Ade's uncle drags Jilong to confront the hyenas in the forest, but no one listens when Ade tries to stop them. Niala and the hyenas come out of the forest, and Ade is glad to be reunited with his best friend. Niala explains how his parents' deaths were accidents, which even his uncle saw but decided to blame them for. Ade's uncle brands him as a traitor for siding with them, but when Jilong is ordered to freeze them, she instead calls a thunderstorm. Ade's uncle is furious that she disobeys him, but Jilong confronts and freezes him instead. Jilong then rallies the others to Lion Rock to save Pang. When the ice melts, Ade's uncle turns his frustration on Pang and throws a spear at him, but Jojo jumps in front and gets hit instead. Niala and the others thought he had died, but Jojo revealed he was lucky that the spear only hit the golden medallion Pang gave him. As they were crossing, Ade's uncle fell into the river. Pang offered his hand, claiming it was not too late to change, but he refused and pulled Pang into the water. Ade's uncle fell from the waterfall, but when Pang was falling, Jilong and Jojo arrived, to which she learned how to fly. After the incident, Ade declares that lions and hyenas are to live together in peace. Ade, Niala, and the others then say goodbye to Pang and Jilong. When Jojo thinks he will miss them, Pang invites him to join them as they return to their home in Asia. Kang returns from his trip and is saddened to discover that Jilong and Pang disappeared, as explained by Pang's parents. It was snowing out of nowhere, but when they looked up, they were thrilled to find that Jilong and Pang had returned home. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.